With the lovely Miss Toyin Tope Adedipe. She has written the book Let's Share Coffee, Mental Wellness for the Information Age. And over these past few weeks, we've been going into it to really understand where her mind was at when she was writing this book, and also to clearly understand what her message for us was. So today I want to know from you, Miss Toyin. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
In your experience, what are the biggest silent triggers, yes, in our everyday lives that people often overlook when it comes to mental wellness, depression, and all that? What are those triggers we are overlooking?
Yeah, good one. I thank you all for being here. It's not always the big things that break us. It is the small, silent ones. The things you don't really give attention to, that you just take as not important, but they pile up. Like
Mhm.
constant comparison, piling your to-do list. Some people believe you have to have a very long to-do list, like a grocery list, and then skipped meals,
Mhm.
sleepless nights, which we most often mask as being productive. Then that nagging feeling that you should do more. They seem small, they seem unimportant, but they keep adding up, and that is when we get the issues. In my email, in my post, my content of, is it this morning or yesterday, I mentioned how people believe being busy means being productive. But sometimes you can spend 12
Mhm.
hours fooling yourself that you are working. But at the end of the day, if you really talk to yourself honestly, you will know that you were just, all you did was just to drain your energy. You didn't really do anything concrete, anything important, or you did not even add value to the work or life in general. So we just normalize burnout and we call it ambition. But no one can be continually on a spring wheel or hamster wheel. No one, you can't continually be like the hamster wheel. There's a time you will collapse. That's it. So we glorify being always on, and we forget how to rest. These quiet triggers, they chip away at our peace until we crash. So it is important to pause. It is critical to breathe. You don't have to carry it all. Let's learn to embrace self-compassion. It's very important. Thank you.
Absolutely. There's something amazing you said about this constantly comparing ourselves. And you see, because we're living in that age of technology that you talked about, we are overwhelmed and bombarded. Every time you open your LinkedIn, you're seeing someone who's more successful than you. Every time
The word
you
is
open,
seemingly more successful than you are, because you don't know.
you're right.
It's curated feeds. Most of these things we see are not even true, but we place ourselves on, we make it an issue. We carry it and it just depresses us. It depresses us. We shouldn't be. Be yourself, accept
Absolutely.
yourself, flaws, your quirks, your all. Just be you, unapologetically.
Wow. I love that. And if you're out there and you're watching this, remember that. Just be you unapologetically. Thank you so much. And also in your book, you describe anxiety as a silent intruder. How can someone tell the difference between normal stress and when anxiety actually becomes a real concern?
Okay. Stress. What when we say stress? What do we really mean? Stress is, it usually has a clear cause. Something leads to stress and it fades once that situation passes. That is stress. But lingers. Anxiety lingers. It creeps in during your, even your calm moments. You don't have to be in chaos before you are, I mean, you have anxiety about a situation or a circumstance. Sometimes when you are calm, anxiety hijacks your thoughts. You may just be sitting, maybe you have to shut down and you are seated, but your mind keeps running. Your mind keeps running, and this gets you uptight,
Yeah.
even thinking that something bad will happen when it had not even happened. You are just thinking about it, and you are already on very, I mean, in a different state of mind. Yeah. So when everyday
Yeah.
task me sleeps become a struggle, you don't even want to sleep, or not, if you want to sleep but you can't sleep because your mind itself refuses to rest. Huh? So your mind is like
Yeah.
constantly racing, and you seem not be in control of your mind, because you can't stop yourself from overthinking or from your mind raising the way it is raising. So anxiety calls for attention, not silence. It calls for attention, not silence. So if you need help, you need to speak up. You don't push through alone, because help is available. And don't push it to the side. Don't push it to the side. Seek help. We have, if you don't want, some people hate the word uh, therapist, but you have coaches who can also help you. You have your
Yeah.
friends who can help you. You have your family members who can come to your aid when you have anxiety. So your is the best is to speak up and reach out for help.
Absolutely. And it's so important, like you've said, to take note of when it is happening and to not ignore it. Don't just be silent about it, like you've said. So you find yourself in a situation, probably as a mom, you have the
Mm.
kids, you probably have a job, you have your own personal life, and you just get so caught up in all
All of
of those
those things.
thoughts. Even when you go to rest, you're thinking about the next day, and it's just this endless cycle that does not stop.
Yeah.
And it can feel like you're trapped, like maybe you're powerless.
Mm.
You can feel
Mm.
powerless sometimes
Mm.
to take any action. But I love that you've said, don't stay silent about it. Once you sense that you're going in that direction,
Speak
speak
up.
up, do something, take action. That's so
Mm.
amazing. And also, there are people that feel ashamed. They feel weak when they experience depression. And I've seen this commonly among my male friends. When you talk to a male about maybe they're going through something, they feel like it's associated with weakness. How do we begin to shift the narrative around this condition, especially in Africa? We look at probably having a mental breakdown as
Yes,
lack
we should.
of confidence, lack of strength, and weakness. How do we do this in these communities of ours?
Yeah, we've been told to pray it away, man up, or just be strong. You know, there are some
Yes.
words we use out in this climb. There are some words we use that are not that do not help anyone. You see, I love to talk about men's mental health. I say, don't stop telling your boys, stop telling the men around you to man up. No, don't cry. Boys don't cry.
Mhm.
What is that? We have to unlearn such things, because you have to allow the man to be a man, to live his life, to be who he is. When you say a man should not cry, why? Why should he bottle up emotion? Why should a man bottle up emotion? Why should anyone? But because some women also believe they shouldn't cry. Some women also believe that. So why bottle up your emotions? Why not learn to talk about it? Why not learn to speak up? If you don't have close people around you who you can speak to, there are people licensed to listen to you. So why don't you take them up and talk to them? Because depression and anxiety are not signs of weakness at all. Anyone who comes out to say this is what I am facing is strong. They are not signs of weakness. We are human beings, we are not machines. We are human beings, we are not machines. And real strength is in speaking up. That is where the strength is. Speaking up, not suffering in silence. Because suffering in silence does not help anyone. That's why you hear some people just drop and die. Aside from having leading to high blood pressures, it can lead to other cardiovascular issues, and that will just be the end. So it is time to unlearn what we have learned and relearn. Because many African communities, mental health is just being whispered around. Mental health issues are supposed to be dealt with, not kept quiet. It's not a taboo. It's not a cause. It is something that you should be able to speak up about so that you can get helped quickly. And I mean, you can get people who can help you quickly before you go to the end where you, you can no longer get help. Because people die from depression because most times they kill themselves. So we should learn that healing begins when shame ends. We have to unlearn what we have been told and then move on with our lives in a cleaner and better way. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that I'm a doctor and I've been working in that space for the past close to 10 years. And most of the people that come, even if they're telling you probably it's diabetes or hypertension, you find that they are triggers, and all of that resulted from an issue with their mental health that they shoved under their carpet and they did not work on, they did not address, and it turned into illness. So the more we think that we are probably pleasing the community because addressing your mental health is equal to weakness, or it's a sign that you're not man enough, like all of those stereotypes that are out there, the more you're actually affecting your physical health, but also the relationships around you will always suffer, because if you're not well, you're not going to treat the people around you well and with love. So, in your opinion, how is social media fueling both the anxiety, the depression, and a whole host of other mental health issues?
Social media can quietly blur that line, the line between connection and comparison. Because sometimes you take your phone and you are scrolling, 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 thinking you are still present, but your mind has traveled several thousands of miles away from where you are, because you are seeing some people vacationing in Bali, seeing people vacationing in Greece, and you say, oh God, like my Nigerian people will say, oh God, when? That is where it starts. That is where it starts. That I don't have money for this now. But when, God, when will I have money for this? Why? Why can't we just enjoy the little that we have? Why do you have to allow comparison to steal your joy? Yeah, we scroll through filtered wins, like I said earlier, curated feeds, And then you start questioning your worth. Why? Anxiety keeps whispering to you, you are behind. And depression says, you are not enough. Your mindset has to be right. Let's learn to embrace a vibrant mindset. It's not like I have it all knotted. It's not like I have it all put together. No, it's just that you should know and learn just to be who you are. If you are not received in a place, walk away, move on, move on. So, what I would say will help is log off without guilt. Log off without guilt. Turn off notifications. Unfollow what drains you. If something is draining you, why should you keep on watching or looking at it? There are sometimes some of my friends will say, "Oh, Toyin, have you seen this? Have you seen that?" When they start, when they start on that story, I said, "Sorry, how will it help me? How will it improve my life or my situation? If it's not going to improve, please just move it. I'm so interested. I don't want to hear the story. I mean, if it's showing online or showing offline or we are seeing it offline, I don't have to be there. I don't have to watch. I would rather guard my peace than after watching, I'll now start to think about it. Why didn't he or she take this route? Why didn't they do it that way? I don't owe the internet constant access to my mind. No, I don't. And you also do not owe the internet constant access to your mind. Learn to have boundaries and respect the boundaries without guilt. Without guilt.
Sometimes people go onto the social media because they're probably going through something in their personal lives that they don't want to think as an escape from the trauma or the pain that they are already struggling with. And also to this, I would say it's right to address the thing that you are struggling with instead of
Struggling with.
escaping it, because that is escapism. It's like using a drug of addiction. It's now not that you're addicted to probably alcohol or some narcotic, but now you're addicted to social media because it
Media.
numbs the pain and the feelings. What would you say to such people who are on there to escape their problems?
When life feels too much, go back to the basics. Check in with yourself. How are you doing? Be sincere with yourself. If you are not doing okay, if you are not doing right, know the next step to take. Don't just keep piling up the pressure. Give in to your emotions sometimes. If you need to cry, cry. As a man or as a woman. I tell people take short walks without your phone because I do this. I just leave my phone and take a walk because anybody that calls me or if anything is urgent, it will be on the phone record that somebody had tried to reach me, but maybe I need that 5, 10 minutes to myself and learn to drink water like it's therapy. I have seen that water works like magic. Water works like magic. That's what I do most times now. I was never a fan of drinking water, but I have learned in a hard way. And I've started drinking water, and it helps. Also, to say no without guilt. You don't have to be saying yes, yes, yes to everything. It just piles up the pressure. So learn to say no without guilt. Mental wellness is not one grand gesture, it's small, consistent choices or acts of self respect. Because that's for your mental health to be in a good state. You have learned to respect yourself. You have learned to embrace self love. You have learned to embrace self compassion. It's not being selfish. Don't let people confuse you. It's not being selfish. You don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to take all tax. You know yourself, you know your limits. Don't let people talk you out of your peace. Don't join in their chaos. Because some
We
people
also
just, yeah, I'm
sorry,
listening.
we also have this trend where ladies think that self-care is going on a vacation on an island somewhere, going to the spa, spending a lot of money on herself, her nails, her hair. So this society that we're living in right now is normalizing that as
Hmm,
self-care. But I love what you
hmm,
said about the fact that it's about those small things that you do consistently every day.
consistently.
So a
Hmm.
friend of mine called me and she was overwhelmed. She had like four children to take care of. Between that and work, she's exhausted, she's drained, she's burnt out. And she was telling me she doesn't even have time for self care and she was just in a very bad place. And I told her, take 5-minute breaks every hour. Take 5 minutes off, even if it means going out of the house and just check in with yourself, like you said. But I want you to address the people that think that self care is about spending a lot of money to go to the salon, buying yourself clothes, doing your nails. Tell us more about that. What self care really is.
Self-care, I would say, is like building peace into your day. It's not necessarily doing going to the spa. Going to the spa is lovely. I love to go to the spa. I love to sit somewhere and drink my coffee. I love to to do pamper myself. Yes, you know all this spa stuff. I love them. But sometimes you go to the spa on credit. That's no longer self care. Then even if you have the money to do the self care the way you want to do it, sometimes you think, why am I spending so much already? I mean, your self care has missed the road. But self care are those little things you do for yourself. You have a lot of items on your to do list, and maybe after completing one or two, you take a break. 5 minutes, 20 minutes. You take such breaks. You take your eyes off the screen. It's self care. You shut your eyes for a few minutes. Is self-care. You take an hour sleep is self-care. You eat right, you drink water is self-care. You don't have to spend a penny. You don't have to spend a kobo. You just know what works for you and do it. Don't live life following someone else's script. Know yourself. Follow your pace. We are not in a race. Even if it is called human race, we are not in a race. You don't have to compare somebody's page 20 to your page 1 because that's what comparison does. But if you learn to follow your pace, maintain your lane, as we say in Nigeria, we say maintain your lane. If you learn to do this, you will see that you have reduced pressure. You have reduced pressure. These are little self-care ways that adds up. And you will observe it
Wow.
in your health.
Yeah. I also love what you said about you can't compare your page one to someone's page 20. Oftentimes, you'll come on LinkedIn and see someone at page 20 and feel bad and say, but how come they are making it? They have lots of clients. They're probably they've gotten that job, they've been promoted, and you forget that they also started at page one, just that you weren't there to see page one, but now they're at page 20 and you can see it. So I really love
Yeah,
that. So for anybody that is out there and they're listening, they're struggling with anxiety, depression, they're overwhelmed. What is that one empowering mindset action that they can take today to start reclaiming their peace?
It is critical to note that you don't have to fix everything today. You don't have to do that. Just show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. This might mean brushing your teeth, laying your bed when you get up, sending that one message, or simply breathing. I love to tell people, stop the worry, breathe, breathe. Learn to inhale and exhale like 4 to 8 times when anxiety seems to take you over or when you're overwhelmed. Just take 1, 2 minutes, inhale and exhale like 4 to 8 times. You will see you will regain your calm. You will regain your calm because healing is not loud, neither is it glamorous. It is found in small wins. In small wins. Yes, I'm able to do this today. Thank God I was able to do this. I'm grateful I was able to do this. Embrace gratitude. It's a way that, is one habit that helps everyone to stay calm. Being grateful for where you are at, not not feeling yourself with anxiety of where you want to be, but enjoying that moment, that position, that place where you are. Enjoy it. Start there. You are not broken.
Wow.
You are rebuilding.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sure this is so helpful to anybody out there. And I'll also want to add this one last thing. Don't compare yourself to who you are yesterday. If you are just one step better today than you were yesterday, applause and say good job. You took one step. I believe that you can take more. Let your eyes be so focused on your journey
On your journey.
and making yourself better than looking at all other things. Thank you so much, Ms. Toyin, for joining us today. Who is watching and is willing to reach you out can find you on LinkedIn. And if you're watching this live stream and you need someone to talk to, reach out to any of us. We're happy to have a one on one with you because we care about your health. We care about sharing the things that got us through those hard times and helping you to become your
Mm.
confident, amazing self. Until we'll see you again. Bye.
Bye.